I think it's a great opportunity here to, make a legitimate effort to explore what I think is going to be like the relatively nuanced topic is what we can say. So yeah, my name is Joe Penna. I'm very, very honored. So I do mean that when I was working on this, the ethical implications of building this real life, it's kind of people were like, "You don't mean the one from the movies?" And yeah, no, I do mean the one from the Terminator franchise, which was a neural network coded in such a way wherein if humans were to try to deactivate it, there would be a nuclear retaliation from the machines and near certain death to most, if not all, human beings. So right off the bat, it begs the question, is there any way that we can ensure that humans would be better off after this global nuclear winter? And surprisingly, I talked to lots of experts about this, lots of, the answer was very clearly no. So I think it's a bad idea to build the Skynet. That's the presentation. That's it, really. So since we still have 19 minutes left, instead, I'd like to talk to you about Hollywood and machines, just in general. There we go. Hollywood, I'm sorry to NVIDIA, apparently this decided to spell AMD, the machines, and artificial intelligence for filmmaking. This artificial intelligence for filmmaking. Okay. For those of you in the loop, you know that this is pretty impressive for an AI to be spelling this well. I promise you I'm going to be telling you more about this. This is Stability's new Deep Floyd algorithm and models and etc. But almost every piece of text that you see in this presentation was made by Deep Floyd. This is in pre-alpha, but literally, like I made this morning because this is when the model, half of the model was trained. So yeah, I'd love to talk to you about filmmaking perspective, the tools that are available today, the tools that will be available soon, and the tools that we get to look forward to one day. And mostly what I'll do is just go through my background, and then we can take a bunch of questions. So basically, hi, my name is Joe Penn. I've had several iterations in the entertainment industry. We can skip like this kind of stuff. So this is meant to be a picture of me working as a VFX compositor and rotoscope artist for 5 years, worked a lot of VFX for commercials and music videos. The nightmares of people being segmented in this way and drawing little circles around people's fingers. There was once a fern that I needed a rotoscope. Where was UNET when you needed it? I was a VFX floater, which meant that I was either working 20-hour days doing this kind of thing, or on set in productions like this, 20-hour days there. But and instead of taking some time off whenever there wasn't work, I spent 20-hour days working on YouTube music videos, a lot of different animations, a lot of different things like stop motion and building pianos that play different cups of water, filter different levels. We tried breaking and misutilizing every single, me and my buddies that were working on this, every single VFX tool and technique out there, reading all the new things, trying to implement code for research that was coming out. Probably a lot of people watching this was writing some of that research. So thank you. We were able to start making YouTube videos and making a little bit of money to be able to hire a little team. And then eventually, once there was enough interest in YouTube, a bigger team, and getting some interest from news articles that wanted to write about kids making money from their bedrooms and things like that. There was a lot of excitement. So I started touring. I started going on Vomit Comet for some reason. I put that picture in there. And then primarily, there was a lot of like this was the face that I got to make a lot. These muscles are really well built on my face because privately, it was really, really actually freaking difficult. This was what it was. A lot of the white hairs that I'm now having to deal with are because we were trying to push the boundaries on what we were doing. And besides YouTube, there's no breaks, there's no seasons, you can't stop posting to a YouTube channel because then algorithmically you're dead. So I decided to try something easier. I guess not that much easier. Hollywood directing. I started working with some bigger actors, some names, some people in this industry. You can see from the face of the behind the scenes pictures, it was rewarding, but it certainly wasn't easier. Productions kept getting bigger. The equipment started getting more specialized. This, for example, is a special camera that can replicate its movement exactly every single time in order to be able to, paint out something from the background. And I eventually had a few short films that did well, went to a few film festivals. And from there, I was able to make my first feature film, which is called Arctic, starring Mads Mikkelsen. Again, this might just be a therapy session, but let's not even talk about AI, because I don't know why a Brazilian guy would decide to, as the Arctic as the setting for his first movie ever. But frankly, I did not realize that we were going to be able to do this, to go to Cannes with it, the Cannes Film Festival. Like, some people work their entire careers, and I got there with my first movie as one of the official selections, and it's coming out for the US on February 1st on Netflix. So check that out. I got my little reminder set there. I got to take some fancy pictures for some fancy publications, and then I got to make a second movie. Netflix came to us, said, here you go, you do whatever you want. So I said, I want to make a movie in space. Still very worried about it, as you can see from the behind the scenes pictures. So there was a lot of fun stuff that we got to do. Like, for example, this is a wonderful thing that Unity built for us that had like 2 different Xbox controllers and has a LiDAR phone in the middle of it. And I'm controlling some like a video game, basically. I get to shoot my movie as a little video game. And that was all previous. So I can rewind, I can try it again, and I can hit little record buttons. And then on the right are the screens. When we recorded that pre-realization before, I got to put it on the screens over there afterwards when we had our actual actors hanging upside down. Turns out that actors that make millions of dollars don't like to be hung upside down in a 300-pound spacesuit. I had my editor on set because I needed to check from the pre-realization, which is the top right here, all the way to the middle as we were shooting to make sure that it was all good. We had little models of our actress over there that we could puppeteer around. It would take about a week or so for every shot that I asked for that to be pre-visualized. Sometimes I thought it was interesting that I got to ask for something from the US, and then because they were in Germany, when I woke up in the morning, some of it might have been ready, which was cool. And then my last movie was also with Anna, the first one that I'm just producing instead of directing. And not much I can say about that, but it was really exciting. And this is the reason why. This image here is the reason why I got into AI as much as I could right now. I could be going and making another movie. But as I was working on this movie with Anna, I asked for my face, Joe Penna, as Vincent Van Gogh, painted by Vincent Van Gogh. And this is what I got before I started shooting the movie. After I did the movie, I went to the same app and I did the same thing, and I hit go, and this is what I came up with. Caravaggio, before and after. The daguerreotype, this is in 3 months that we were shooting the movie. The daguerreotype of Joe Penna on the left, that's what it looks like on the right. In Game of Thrones, this is what it looked like before. This is what it can do now. This is completely AI generated image. Same with Iron Man. This one is not completely AI generated. I would Photoshop a little bit of it, but that's okay. Especially as a male model, I've always wanted to see what I looked like as a male model. That was so important for me to know. This is what it can do now. So to me, it's far more important for me to be leading the charge in what this industry is, how this industry is going to change. Because when I started thinking about it, everything that I had ever done, and in fact, every slide that I showed you isn't just about my background. Every single slide I showed you so far has one piece of technology that was done in the last 3 or 4 or 5 months that's going to change the way that I made that thing. This is some of the stuff that's going to remain the same, right? Like, I love putting actors in suits, and they get to pretend to be their turtles, and actresses is still going to have to learn how to suture from a doctor. I still get to be excited about the system that I get to design. The buttons look just like this, and the screen looks just like that, you know. But some things I don't like, some things that I don't want to do. For example, these are photo boards that I took for my crew with just, like people who weren't the actors. What if I can take this photo boards and just put my actors in it, right? I have my crew standing in the right locations. You put the right people's face into it. Some things that I don't like, for example, on the left here is how we shot some car footage, right? And it's so annoying, like, to be able to like move over here, move over here, move over there. Oh my God, what was it like? What was the performance like? And they can't hear us. And it's like, okay, try again, move your face to the left. And it's bumpy. All of that can just change if I can just move my camera afterwards. With Nerf and video technology, that's just around the corner. Moving lights, I have 80 people waiting for me as I'm moving the lights around. But now, clip drop, even I can do this on the web. This is why movies are so expensive. You have 5 people tinkering with lights while electricians and cooks and painters and carpenters and stylists are just waiting around. And you're paying all those people and producers. I don't know what producers do, but you're also paying them. And now you're able to iterate afterwards. Every movie is going to look a lot more like this. All of these iterations. In fact, every presentation is gonna be different. This slide, for example, I outpainted the sky here. For this slide, that picture that just wasn't real. That's just not me. For this slide here, for example, I also relit that picture. Clip drop. I relit almost every single slide. This one wasn't real at all. I didn't like the way that the system turned out. So that's what you're going to be able to do. Every tinkering is what humans love to do. I would have liked to tinker with this slide a little bit more, maybe get it to spell a little better. But I told you more that I'd tell you more about this. And now I can. This is Deep Floyd. It's an internal model that we're testing right now. It's alpha testing for 2 hours. So you're the very first group to see many of the outputs here for Deep Floyd. Clearly, it can spell. But that's not the only thing. If a model can spell, that means that it has a very clear understanding of language. So, for example, up top here, 5 meerkats in an advert wearing different color sweaters. It knows that. It just understands it human. It's T5XXL for those who don't know. A blue square on the left, red ball on the right. Very difficult thing for Stable Diffusion to do. Here we go. What are the implications of this, right? Directors are going to use it because it's directable. Here's Vincent Van Gogh in Fast and the Furious. Here is Mads Mikkelsen in the movie Arctic. If I had this, and this was made in 20 seconds, I would have gotten to the poster that I got for Arctic a lot more. Do I have some notes? Yeah, that doesn't quite look like Mads. I'm going to tinker with it. And I think that that's what's always going to be there. I get asked a lot as a filmmaker, like, what is it that the machines won't take over? And I think it's our tinkerings, right? Pretty much, we're always going to have some notes because we're humans. It doesn't matter if the machine says, mathematically, this is the best thing possible. And there's always going to be us saying, right, but can you just change this one thing for me? I've certainly made a whole career of it.